Hey everybody, thanks for watching. It has been a challenging time to play fantasy football, to say the least. A weekend of frustrating absences related to COVID. And so as we talk about the Week 13 waiver wire, and as you make one final push for your fantasy playoffs, there's a lot we don't know. And some of these guys are simply gonna be TBD. Hey, I am Chris, and as always, we really do thank you for watching all season long. And TBD means, of course, I don't know. I don't know in a lot of cases who's playing, who's going to be back from the COVID list. It is frustrating. And so some of the waiver guys are going to be contingent, and you're just going to have to take your chances, and just a lot more random this year than normal. But we can still have some fun. Let's talk about some waiver ads. We'll show you some film. Let's first look at the list of folks that you might consider adding in some shallower leagues. So number 1 and number 2 on this list, obviously, as of my recording this, haven't even played yet in Week 12, let alone getting ready for Week 13, because the cursed Ravens-Steelers game is scheduled now for Tuesday night, and the reason you'd consider adding Gus Edwards or Benny Snell is basically entirely about COVID and not knowing whether the rushers higher on the depth chart will be available for future games. So I'm not telling you either's a must. I'm just telling you there's a chance. I will get to Murray at number 3 in a moment. Michael Pittman had a disappointing stat output in the high-scoring Colts game, and people will tell you, wow, 9 targets. I mean, I watched him. Pittman dropped a couple, and then they were kind of hopeless passes. In previous weeks, he's been impressive with the ball in his hands. I'll take a chance. And Corey Davis, really same thing. He's not going to get high volume, but he works his way into wide receiver 3 conversation most weeks. Okay, let's talk Latavius Murray, and what you're going to hear from a lot of quarters is, oh my heavens, look at these numbers. With Taysom Hill at quarterback, Alvin Kamara is so screwed. Do you even realize that Murray is worth more than Kamara? They're playing the same amount. And of course, it's that kind of thinking that leads you to think that Alex Collins is a second-round draft pick. Like, if your trade deadline hasn't passed and you can go get Alvin Kamara right now on the cheap, of course you should do that. But I also won't argue that it hasn't been frustrating for a couple of weeks. Of course, his second carry of Sunday's game, Latavius Murray fumbled, but fortunately a Saints lineman recovered, so that didn't become a thing. And there's nothing wrong with what Latavius Murray does. If you know my work, I pumped him for years in the Vikings days and even the Raider days before that. He's a big guy. You build him a hole, he will find it. For how big he is at 6'3", 220 pounds, always has had more north-south speed than you expected, and he can take a hit. And he's not crazy nimble, but he's always been nimble enough to take a step just as he's getting going, adjust himself as he does here, slows him down a little bit, but doesn't just blast into the pile, which a lot of power backs will do. And let's face it, this is almost exactly the same run, right, where the Broncos pick the wrong play call on defense. They run blitz to the wrong side, and once Murray makes that little first move, I don't think you call this an incredible play. Not all 36-yard touchdowns are created equal, and this doesn't really create or evidence any characteristic that's somehow more appropriate to play with Taysom Hill. It's just open, right? And that one was already kind of garbage time in this game, and this one's way deeper into garbage time, and congrats, you have a body, and you know how to run without falling down. To say that Kamara is somehow not equipped to be the one that plays with Taysom Hill, it's just, my point here isn't going to be to trash Latavius Murray. I've always liked him. The truth is, it hasn't mattered who the quarterback has been this year. Murray always gets the Saints' first carry of the game, and he always gets double-digit touches every game. These were also his first touchdown since week 4, right? So we have to calm down, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Kamara got rested in the second half. He had 3 touches in the half entirely. He had 1 in the fourth quarter. Having Taysom Hill in there rushing for touchdowns, it's not good for any running back, and Murray is a desperation shallow league option, but he's not any more likely to score touchdowns or be good for fantasy than Kamara just because Taysom Hill's in there, no matter what the data divers say. Okay, so we'll get back to more waiver wire talk in a second, but first let's thank the sponsor. And if you're tired of your sofa, and maybe you don't want to go sofa shopping because, pandemic, I can really personally recommend Burrow. They've been a long-time sponsor. I have a Burrow sofa. They are great. You don't have to choose between cheap and flimsy or heavy and expensive. Burrow has figured out a way to get you a great sofa, as nice as any luxury retailer, for a fraction of the price. They deliver direct to you in easy-to-assemble pieces. It'll take you 10 minutes to put together. No tools necessary. They have thousands of color, style, and shape combinations to choose from, and they ship directly to you. Did you know a retail sofa's price is something like 70% overhead? Crazy, right? And finally, you're getting a beautiful home-delivered sofa that feels great at a reasonable price. Get other furniture to go with your new Burrow. Every sofa in the Nomad collection comes with a built-in USB charger, and every single Burrow comes with free shipping, and it's fast as well. And every single Burrow order comes with free, fast shipping. And I can get you $75 off right now. Go to burrow.com/HarrisTube to find out more. You will not believe what you get for the price. It is luxury furniture. $75 off right now. Go have a look. Okay, let's talk about the waiver ads in some deeper leagues. As always, the rule for this particular list is you have to be owned in 1/3 of Yahoo leagues or fewer. We're going to start it out. Number 5, Jets receiver Brashad Perriman. In the name of riding a relatively hot hand and watching game film and seeing a consistent stream of downfield shots over the past month, listen, I don't want a Jets receiver much either, but if you're only looking for someone who's played well lately, Perriman has played well. Obviously, there's a good throw here, but this badass coordination just to catch the back half of the ball and also get your feet in bounds. This is a pretty good route against a very good corner, Xavier Howard. It's not the most perfect throw, and Perriman lays out to go get it, can't quite bring it in. We all know Perriman as a dude who can only go deep, and that this is a good route here, and it's not deep, right? But mostly, it's going to come from deep stuff if you get good fantasy. I'm not going to argue this one is a good decision or a good throw by Sam Darnold, but just the fact that 3 times in the first half here are 3 targets that travel 20-plus yards in the air in a competitive game, I'll take it. And then come out the first drive of the second half, here's another one. It's a great catch. Like, obviously, this time of year, a lot of a wideout's fantasy appeal is situation because we know so much about all these situations by now. And Perriman's situation stinks, but I can't watch this film. He's going up against another really good corner, that's Byron Jones, and not say he's played well. Denzel Mims made plays more later in the game, probably, you'd say. Perriman's getting inside my top 40 wideouts Sunday against the Raiders. Okay, at number 4, I've got Steelers rookie Anthony McFarland. This is from way back in September, and you see speed, a littler guy, not tiny, but not breaking tons of tackles. Simple fact is that while I've been teased so far by the speed, we really just haven't seen enough yet of McFarland other than to say, on the rare occasion he's in the game, he looks a lot faster than everybody else who plays the position for Pittsburgh. He's only got 24 touches all season. I'm not sure he's really like a stop-start jumping bean, as he kind of looks like in this reception. But then again, you can see in the end zone view of this run from early in the Jags game just last week, he has the potential to at least jump one hole over as needed and not lose too much speed. Fact is, not enough film to really render judgment. The reason to think about adding him is the same reason to maybe think about adding Benny Snell. They might get big chances against the Ravens Tuesday night, and after that, who knows? At number 3, I'll put Jordan Wilkins, because we don't know how long Jonathan Taylor will be out with his COVID diagnosis. Now, in a bad game Sunday, getting crushed by the Titans, Nyheim Hines played 44 snaps, Wilkins played 23. But, I thought early in the game they alternated a little bit. Hines was the starter, and then Wilkins did miss time midway through the game with a rib injury. And listen, I'm going to be honest on this one. There's not a lot of ton I actually saw on Sunday that makes me say, wow, amazing player, let's add this guy. This was his best play, and I'm going to say there's 100 running backs in the league who could have done it. And the game was pretty out of hand by the time this one came around. And follow the receiving blocker there. Nice block, Zach Pascal, and hit a guy and run out of bounds. Here's the closest Wilkins came to pay dirt on a 2-point conversion, and he didn't get in, and I'm not going to get mad at him. It's a pretty big hit. So we did a little film work on Wilkins on the channel last month. You probably get the picture from all these clips. He's sort of a league average dude. I prefer Nyheim Hines to him as a fantasy option. He's just owned a lot more. I think Taylor would also personally totally put the kibosh on this if he returns. But yeah, get Wilkins going. Give him a lane against a bad Texans run defense this coming Sunday. He can do this. And yeah, I think most running backs probably can do this. I don't want to get carried away, but chase volume if you have to. At number 2, I'll try Cam Akers, who, after the Rams had essentially been stuffed for their first 20-plus runs on Sunday against the Niners, he did this. And some of this is because finally there was a hole that a Rams running back could see and could get through. But also, if we watch the replay back, you don't see it real easily, but when he gets to the DB level, watch number 33, Tarvarius Moore. He overruns the play, yeah, but it's a good cutback by Cam Akers. So after that play, the third quarter ended, the Rams rewarded Akers. They gave it to him from the 6, and he showed a little bit of power to get it down to the 1. And then very next play, his first NFL rushing touchdown. We reserve our excitement a little bit because he played 20 snaps all game. That was third among running backs. Malcolm Brown, Darrell Henderson played more. We just don't know what the usage will be. We remember way back at the beginning of October, well, the box score said Akers had a big game against Washington. Of course, he didn't. He hadn't. It was garbage time. It was one long run. And please note, actually, at the end of both of the long runs we've shown here, he's getting run down from behind. But, I think if you look at this one, I like it that he takes a hit and keeps going. It's a big hit. I think we're starting to build a case for an all-around player who maybe isn't incredible at any one thing, but has legit speed, some wiggle, some vision, some good balance. And we've shown you this play on the channel before. It's also at the end of a blowout, but it hints that even though Akers hasn't done all that much as a rookie, maybe this is kind of a quasi-redshirt year while he learns the ropes, and maybe 2021 will be his breakout. So the reason to add Akers now, probably not to start him week 13 against the Cardinals, you need to see a bigger workload first. I think it's to see if maybe the Rams change their mind, and then maybe weeks 14 through 16, they'll feature him more and you can feel better about using him. But at number 1, I'm going to show you the why before I show you the who. The why is this run from Josh Jacobs late third quarter on Sunday. Trust me, the flags are at half-mast around here as Jacobs hurt his ankle pretty badly. He fumbled it away. I mean, we're told the injury looked worse than it was. I don't know what that means. It's easy for someone else to say when it's not their ankle. So our number 1 ad this week right now is Devontae Booker, who did not cover himself in glory after Josh Jacobs got hurt, as Vegas was getting their doors blown off in Atlanta, but you might recall we had a long handcuff conversation on the channel this time last week. It's the reason you should add Alexander Mattison and Tony Pollard because, these plays notwithstanding, Booker has had an okay season, kind of a resurgence. And not knowing anything about Jacobs' injury yet, I dare say Booker has maybe a start or two ahead of him. Now, most of what's good about what Booker has done in 2020 has come in garbage time, including this run. And I think what I said last week is budget Jacobs. Like, Booker withstands a hit here and pretty well. It digs it out, gets a touchdown. And really garbage time here, but budget Jacobs. He's not exactly Jacobs level quicks or acceleration, but pretty good. This is going back a little bit, but this wasn't garbage time at all. And I don't think it's special on his part, but being able to follow a convoy when there is one, that will work. And in the upset over the Chiefs back in very early October, there wasn't a lot there, but I don't know, the seas kind of parted for him. He's not Dalvin Cook. He's not going to just make a cut and the tackler in the secondary is going to fall down, but he's also not Wayne Gallman kind of sagging into the dude. He's somewhere in between, and that, let's face it, by NFL standards makes him a fine NFL running back. And by fine, I probably mean he's a backup, right? That's what he deserves to be. And we don't know anything yet about Jacobs' health. I think that makes him the number 1 ad. Jalen Richard is still there, but it's Jets in week 13. If you need a win, I think Booker's the guy. I don't know what Jacobs' fate is, but I'd be adding him. Obviously, I guess this is the curse of 2020, is we just flat don't have a lot of information. In this case, we all hope Jacobs is back. If he's not, how's Booker not going to be in the top 24 running backs next week? So there you have it. But as always, let me remind you that we do update the list because I'm recording this before the Monday night game. We might change our minds. So check the podcast at harrisfootball.com. It will be up Tuesday midday Eastern, and we will have a final official list for you to see if anything changed from this one. And if you've been on the lookout for a sofa, I seriously cannot recommend Burrow more. I've had Burrow sofas now for like 5 years. I think they are an absolutely great idea, and if you're looking for one, please check them out. We thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button, write a comment, tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on, and of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button, and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.